Welcome to another edition of the Trading Bell. This week, we have a special guest in town, and that is celebrated entrepreneur, billionaire, and the chairman of United Bank for Africa, Tony Elumelu. He is our special guest on the program this week. We'll be discussing the future of banking and what his foundation, the Tony Elumelu Foundation, is doing when it comes to improving the lives of Africans through supporting young entrepreneurs. But first, let's take a look at his profile. Tony Elumelu is the chairman of leading Pan-African financial services group, the United Bank for Africa, with a presence in 20 African countries and in Paris, London, and New York. He's also Nigeria's largest quoted conglomerate, Transcorp PLC. Tony serves on the International Advisory Board of the Washington, D.C.-based think tank, the Wilson Center, and is a member of the Global Advisory Council of the Harvard Kennedy School Center for Public Leadership. He's also a member of the World Economic Forum Community of Chairmen. Welcome to Nairobi, Chairman.
Thank you very much.
Interesting times for Africa. You've been to Nairobi before. That was in 2016 during the Global Entrepreneurship Summit. What brings you back to Nairobi?
This time around is still in furtherance of the reason I came in 2016. That's about entrepreneurship, about our young entrepreneurs in Kenya. The Tony Elumelu Foundation, as you know, has promoted and supported entrepreneurs across the continent. And Kenyan beneficiaries are rising in terms of number, and they are impressing us a lot. And from time to time, I go around trying to further encourage these young entrepreneurs to interact with them through what we call the Tony Elumelu Foundation Founders Forum. So today, in about 2 hours' time, I'll be having conversation with them. We expect to see about 500 of them. And later tomorrow, I'll pay a courtesy call on the president of Kenya to share with him our thoughts on how we can further work together to support young African entrepreneurs, to support SMEs, the startup entrepreneurs. We see a significant number of these people in Kenya, and we believe that Kenya, as in some other centers across Africa, could actually help us to achieve our desire to see a developed Africa from within. These young men and women show a whole lot of potential, and they need encouragement, and we can make it possible.
All right. And you've been very consistent and passionate, really, about supporting young entrepreneurs. We've seen a number of reports coming through from Bloomberg Media indicating that Africa is the next frontier. And this narrative, if we are to look at it from an objective point of view, what is actually driving the growth for Africa?
I think this narrative or characterization has been on for quite some time. My belief, as we do in Tony Elumelu Foundation, is that we need to begin to concretize it. Let people begin to see that Africa indeed is rising, and that the rise and growth of Africa is inclusive, that it incorporates our women folk and incorporates our youth, that joblessness and youth unemployment is addressed so that this continent can take its rightful place. And that is why we support the entrepreneurs who support through the Tony Elumelu Foundation. And I think that is indeed where the future of Africa lies, and these are people who help take us to the next level. I have seen, interacting with these young entrepreneurs, that they indeed have a lot of ideas that are quite innovative, and they're energetic, they're hardworking, and they indeed want to succeed. What they need is support from all of us. They need an enabling ecosystem that will help them succeed. And that is why everywhere I go, when I meet the president tomorrow, I can emphasize this, that what we owe them is not so much capital, it is creating the right environment that will help them succeed. Discussing with Jeff, the CEO of the Nairobi Stock Exchange a few minutes ago, I was quite impressed by the way they have characterized or classified the market to create a niche for people like this, those who have just $100,000 and want to begin the journey and also be able to prepare themselves to access long-term capital. That is the kind of ecosystem we want to develop support these young Africans. And I'm impressed that the Nairobi Stock Exchange is doing just that.
All right. And Tony, as much as we are driving this conversation around youth empowerment through supporting these startups in Africa, there's a big challenge ahead of every person behind noble initiatives like the Tony Elumelu Foundation. Technology, it has been very disruptive for businesses, and this is also seeing a number of businesses shed off staff. How can we embrace technology in modern day Africa, at the same time ensure we have sustainable jobs out in the market?
You know, this digital disruption is an interesting conversation. While some people see it as reducing job opportunities, others see it as actually enhancing job opportunities. Artificial intelligence is the new world, and we cannot be left behind. In this new revolution per se, Africa must take its rightful place. And I am encouraged, and one of the things I'm going to be talking today with the young entrepreneurs in Kenya about the level of technological interest and innovation coming out of Africa, out of Kenya in particular. We need to turn it more positively. We need to use it to enhance our productivity. We need to use it to create and expand the economic frontiers and possibilities on the continent. There's so much that we have not. Some can be scared, and some much more advanced economies be scared about how this disruption can affect job creation. But in Africa, I think I only enhance it. We have seen different sectors that have various value chains. We need to open up the opportunity in this chain, and we need this kind of intelligence in the 21st century to make this possible. So for Africa, we should embrace the digital age. We should embrace this artificial intelligence. We have the capability to make this possible. What is lacking is the enabling environment. So we need to make sure as government and as people who are interested, like foundations and development agencies, in supporting this new age and revolution that must occur on our continent, to see collectively and individually how we can support these young entrepreneurs.
All right. And as we come to the tail end of this interview, sir, the foundation as well as the banking sector, it has been experiencing a number of dynamic shifts, and of course technology playing a critical role in this. From running one of the biggest banks in the continent, and at a time when we're also seeing banks are struggling when it comes to competition, issues of regulation, what is the future of banking in the day and time when we are seeing a lot of mobile applications coming into the market and sort of changing the traditional banking where we have the brick and mortar branches?
I think what banks do ultimately is to enhance customer experience. And it's not so much the how, but the kind of the service and the experience that the customers live with. The good news is that this kind of digital innovation that is occurring, the artificial intelligence, can only make life better and easier for customers. United Bank for Africa, that I chair across the continent, that operates in 20 African countries, just launched an artificial intelligence type banking, the Leo Banker. It's quite amazing what Leo can do. Leo can even tell you about the weather. Leo can tell you how to move money. They tell you balance, almost everything. This is a kind of disruption that is good because it will enhance the quality of customer experience. And as we provide more to customers, the customers patronize banks more, and it's good for everyone. But looking at brick and mortar going forward, I know when we started so many years ago at Standard Trust Bank, we got one of the leading management firms to present to us about future of banking. This was in 1997, and they told us that the end of brick and mortar banking was here, but it took a while. And now it's gradually happening. We have seen ATM penetration. We have seen POS penetration across Africa. We have seen now that mobile banking, so much is happening in that space. But people still need to go to brick and mortar to do certain things, but it's going to come down In fact, at United Bank for Africa, we factor this into consideration in the strategic decisions we make going forward. But the good news, as I said before, is that whatever happens in that space the customers will come out better. Customers are going to be better served. They have more options. They don't need to move around unnecessarily. And I don't know about Kenya, but I've seen in some economies that burglars and robbers don't go to homes again. Mm-hmm. Because, if you go to the house, there's no money to steal.
Sure.
Everything's in the card and in the ATM machine. Yes. That is the new world. That is the quality of life that is coming up. And I must say that at the Tony Elumelu Foundation, what we have seen through the 1,000 entrepreneurs who support every year is that quite a number of our people, young ones, are interested in agriculture and ICT. And we want to continue to encourage this, and I will call on everyone across the continent, and first of Africa, to encourage this, because agriculture, we have fertile land in Africa, very arable land. We should actually be producing food to feed the world. And seeing our young ones entering this space is very good for us, and also seeing our young ones being so innovative and embracing ICT as a future is something that will take us to the next level. And I want to commend the Nairobi Exchange again to say what they've done is very good. They should, in future, look at subsectors to see how they can support entrepreneurs, start up in agri-space, and they can support more startup in ICT. We should have Silicon Valley in Africa, out of Kenya, out of Lagos, and such other centers. We have the energy, we have the expertise. Let's all together build infrastructure and supportive ecosystem and make this possible.
All right. So I'd like to get you a parting shot to the young entrepreneurs who tirelessly wake up every morning. They try to get funding from banks. Sometimes they get it, sometimes they're turned away. What's your message to this group of young individuals who are very energetic, very aggressive in life? At the same time, when they look at someone like you, they want quick fixes where I want to be a billionaire by this age, like Tony Elumelu. Okay. What's your message to this young group of people?
Couple of points. First is capital is not so easy, especially for startups, to prove their ideas. But then that is why you have like the Tony Elumelu Foundation. What we do through the seed capital of $5,000 we provide to each of these 1,000 Africans every year is to assist them to prove their ideas. Because if your idea is proven, is good, then others will come in to invest in you. We need families to support these startups. We need people, Africans who are endowed to support these startups. We need government to have schemes that will support these startups. And we need the startup to also recognize that savings is good and that you don't need to start big. Just start little and scale up gradually. Two is hard work is so critical for success as an entrepreneur. And my message to African entrepreneurs is dream big dreams, but realize that your dream is nothing if you don't execute it. So try to execute it, and you need a lot of energy, hard work, and passion to convert your ideas to outcome. Because no one rewards efforts. What people reward ultimately is the outcome. No one is going to reward you for having great ideas, but people reward you for converting your ideas to action, to outcome. That's what's important. Third is for entrepreneurs to know that the journey of entrepreneurship is a long-term journey. It's a marathon. It's not something you want to fix overnight. And in that marathon, occasionally, you have challenges, you have failure moments, but don't give up. Resilience, perseverance are very important for you to succeed as an entrepreneur. And above all, discipline. You need to be disciplined. You need to make sacrifices. You need to make deferred consumption to be able to even raise the capital that you need, conserve the capital that you need, save the capital that you need to make the investment that will make you prosperous and successful in the long run. Today's billionaires were not created overnight. It's a long journey.
All right. Many thanks, Tony Elumelu.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And indeed, it is my singular honor to have to host you on the program. And thank you for your insights. Let's see how the young African entrepreneurs will be taking this up. And of course, Africa is open for business.
Thank you.
Well, that has been our exclusive interview with Tony Elumelu, the chairman for United Bank for Africa, talking to us really about the trends in banking, as well as some tips for entrepreneurs out there in the market. Looking at the 20 share index this week, it's actually down by 0.49%. What do you make of this?
I think that's basically market profit taking from some of the investors.